am the artist Richard Lyle. In today's video, I will be solving a problem with a portrait painting. If you ever decide to paint portraits, you will run into this problem. The problem is that the portrait will be almost done, but will have something just a little off. I am going to show you how I go about to solve and fix the problem. The first thing I do is put the painting out of sight for a few days. Start moving the painting after a few days, and I keep looking at it. I will decide if the painting does really have a problem or not. In this case, I decided that, something was wrong. And at that point, I sat down in front of the painting and kept moving my hand around the painting, covering parts of the painting until I found the problem area. As the camera cannot see through me, I am going to move a shaded area around the picture in Photoshop. The shaded area will represent my pointing finger, and I will try to explain what I found with the process and the corrective action I took. First, I moved my hand all over the portrait. I found that the painting looked good with her mouth area covered, so I knew that the problem was in that area. Then I shaded just the left corner of her mouth. This seemed to have no effect, which tells me that the left corner of her mouth is correct. I moved my finger to cover the middle of her mouth. With just the middle of her mouth covered, I saw that her left side of her face looked great. With my finger just covering her right corner of her mouth, I could see that her whole upper half of her face looked good. When I covered both the right corner and the middle of her mouth, it looked very good. Both the upper half and the left half were good. Her chin also looked correct. Now that I knew where the problem was, I had to find out how to correct it. I always believe that the eyes are the most important thing when painting a portrait. The eyes are the first thing I established and become my focal point for all my measurements. All my measurements are based on the eyes. With my dividers on the reference photo, I measured several points from the eyes to each problem point. Remember, the chin looked good, correct, so I first measured from her right eye to her chin. I then did the same measurement on the painting. I divide the measurement from the photo into the measurement of the painting. Now I know the ratio between the measurements on the photo and the painting. Then I measured her left eye to the right corner of her mouth. I used the ruler to measure the space on the divider and recorded the value. Remember to multiply the reading by the adjustment ratio. Then I measured from her right eye to the right corner of her mouth. Now I have the point that the right corner of her mouth should be. Reference to two places. Here you can see how far off the corner of her mouth was on the painting. If you remember, there was something wrong with the center of her mouth. With the line straight from her eye to her chin, I noticed that the line was the center of the two front teeth on the photo, but not on the painting. I also measured from the right eye to the bottom of the lower lip. I checked that dimension and found that the dimensions were different than the painting, and I would have to make a correction to the bottom of the lip on the painting. With 3 corrections points, I felt very comfortable that I could correct the painting. I marked the 3 points and painted the corrections into the painting. I also checked the left corner of her mouth and her nose, which I made very minor changes that you will not see. After I was all done, I checked all the dimensions again with the dividers, and you can watch me do that with the time lapse. So you can see how I use the rule to set the dimensions, and then I just check them to the painting. And I did it several times. Now these measurements are the recorded measurements. And I just keep on, I just don't do it once. I keep doing it different ways and just keep checking the dimensions and make sure that they're all right to the photo. Here's the 2 photos side by side, the old and the new. You can also see that I changed Tigger a little. Tigger had this Garfield attitude look, and the original painting just didn't have it. So I had to do a little adjustment. Now I feel like it looks more like Garfield. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something. Have a nice day. And please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.